What's up, y'all? What's up, Mimi's back up? What's up, Sister Crystal? What's up, Christiness? What's up, Bree? What's up, Ken Monty? What's up, Sneakerhead? What's up, Destro? What's up, Pat Daddy?
Hallelujah. Yeah. I receive blessed miracles. I can't tell you what happened. 1 minute feeling hopeless, the next minute we laughing. Medical conditions met with the power of fasting. Learning secrets that are frequently kept from the masses. Blessed in the city, blessed in the field. Blessed to have everything available in your will. Blessed to overcome my flesh and be giving me chills. Blessed to see humility can destroy and rebuild. My wife's room is
Oh,
blessed.
Jahan, what's up?
Revelation of blessing, the situation was awful. A weapon formed
Jahan, what's up? What did Ron DeSantis do?
When she woke up, guess that demon got his throat cut. Relationship tribulations, they almost broke us. Formerly under pressure, I wasn't solid, I would fold
What's up, Kenya? What's up, Bonifay?
I believe, but you know what? Blessings come down.
What's up, Khalil?
Let's go up. Blessings, 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 blessings. Oh, it's bringing me joy. I receive blessings. Oh, it's bringing me joy. I receive blessings falling down on me.
Newsom's kicking it up a notch. He wants to launch the move. Newsom's kicking it up a notch. He wants to launch the move.
Yeah. Blessed with your conviction when I sing. Blessed with the addiction to repent. Yeah.
At the end of the day,
blessed with the desire
any
to be
amount
righteous. I remember a time when I was nothing like this, yeah. I remember when what I wanted was what I wanted. No discipline or wise judgment. That's when my God was my
Oh, Mamista, what's up? This is Eshawn Burgundy.
Felt the repercussions, turned from sin and started fasting.
The song is called Blessings by Eshawn Burgundy.
For the time being, I gave my family an African address to give us peace from police and American madness. Give us an upright heart so we serve you with gladness. Thankful for every breath you've allowed me to breathe. For every form of success you've allowed me to reach. For every time you let me speak to your people and preach. For a wife with a personal standard of a queen. Her accountability helped me become a king. A loving mother to my seeds, a blessing indeed. In preparation for Shabbat, she cooking a feast. Taught my children how to worship and taught them to read. Father, you keep saving me from the powers that be. You'll never let the enemy devour Jacob's seed. I live in reverse of every curse in Deuteronomy. I can forsake possessions. True blessing is your inner peace. Blessings, 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 blessings. Oh, it's bringing me joy. I receive blessings. Oh, it's bringing me joy. I receive blessings falling down on me. It keeps bringing me joy. Each new blessing I receive. It keeps bringing me joy. Hallelujah. If you're listening to this, may the blessing of the Most High be upon you and your family. May you forsake this world, repent for your sin, and turn to live a righteous life. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High.
The hook and ladder.
Oh my goodness. Jahan said that DeSantis banned African. DeSantis banned African American studies. So let me say this, right? Eshon Burgundy, his album is called Lost Sheep, and so far, I give it an A, right? Eshon Burgundy is very talented, probably one of the best rappers we have out now. I do have a critique though. I don't agree with the premise of black people being lost. I don't. The children of Israel were not lost. They were disobedient. When you say that people are lost, you absolve them of responsibility and accountability. So black people in America are not lost. Black people are disobedient. Black people want to be decadent. I'm not talking about because of skin color. It's because of the culture. Black culture is what black folks indulge in at some degree. And at the end of the day, black culture is built on idolatry. That's why I titled today's YouTube, Y'all versus Yah, the idolatry of skin. And what we see is we see that every movement that black folks have is centered around three things: pride, ego, and narcissism. If I go to the Moors, their claim to fame is that black people were first. If I go to the Hebrew Israelites, their claim to fame is black people were chosen. And if I go to African Americans, their claim to fame is we're kings and queens. All of these things are not built from a place of humility. They're not built from a godly place. They're not built from a righteous place. They're all built on pride, ego, and narcissism. And so any black movement you see is going to be rooted in those things. They're not rooted in things of God. Now, anyway, his album is great. I just disagree with some of the premises of the album because I don't believe that black people are quote unquote chosen. And if black people are chosen, then we drop the ball miserably. We claim to be the ones to start to create and build and be the first to do this and all, but somehow black folks lost it all. So either we're going to talk about the whole story or not mention it at all. And when I hear black folks talking about their history and their achievements, I never hear where they failed. I never hear the whole story. And when you don't hear the whole story, you know it's deception involved. Again, 99% being 99% with God is 100% with Satan. So what black folks are asking for is ungodly. Black folks are asking to be absolved of sin without actually absolving themselves of the sin by being obedient. And that's just not going to happen. And I think it's just a disingenuous message to preach to the people. Black folks are not lost. You can go, black folks know right from wrong. It ain't white folks. Black folks are doing what they want to do. And again, it's because black culture is something that black folks indulge in. It's no different than any other culture. If you indulge in the culture and it's bad, you're going to be bad. I mean, it's just that simple. So Ron DeSantis, if he banned African American studies, I understand why. Because what has African American studies done for black people? Nothing. It's been the worst thing. The worst thing they could have did was give us a history that was built in foolishness and decadence. We already know about the slave ships. We know about Harriet Tubman. We know about all these things, and this stuff is all fairy tale and fantasy. What has it done? What has Black History Month done? What has this stuff done? What has black colleges done? Not even owned by black people. What has this stuff done? What has the history of black folks, how has it benefited black people? And shalom, happy shalom everybody on this Sabbath day. Happy Sabbath day. I just think it's funny that he banned African American studies because I just believe in this, right? I believe that if we're going to, intent matters. And what I'm seeing is that they're making people believe that intent doesn't matter. Why you do something matters. People think they can just do something and it's good because they're doing it. No, the intent behind why you're doing it matters. When I grew up, all I heard was, God knows my heart. That doesn't mean it's a good thing, though. God knowing your heart could be a bad thing for you because God knows your true intentions. And I think where people have lost way is people have under this impression that they can do something and the reason why they're doing it doesn't matter. It's foolishness. Do you think that the Hebrew Israelites would be doing all this stuff if they weren't the chosen people? Do you think they would still follow the Most High, Yah, God, Elohim, whatever you want to say? Do you think they would still follow God if the book said you are not the chosen people? Of course not. Do you think the Moors would be riding on their high horse if their literature said you were not the first to do it? No. Do you think black folks would be riding on their high horse if the book said, the history showed, y'all was not kings and queens? The point I'm getting at is the intent behind this stuff matters. And the reason why this stuff will never work is because the intent is not rooted in anything righteous. We should be doing what's righteous simply because it is the right thing to do. You shouldn't need an incentive of heaven. You shouldn't need an incentive of blessings. You shouldn't need any of that. You should be at the level where you are doing what is right simply because it's the right thing to do. You don't need an incentive. God is trying to work in you the spirit of doing it because it's the right thing to do. God is trying to get you to be like God. What is God's incentive? God don't have an incentive. God is doing it because God is love. And that's how we should be. Thank you, Jahan, so much for the super sticker. Sneakerhead, thank you so much for the super sticker. So that's what I really wanted to say in my intro. Eshon Burgundy's album Lost Sheep is excellent. It's an excellent album. I mean, excellent. He is a great artist. I just don't believe his premise and foundation. How would you respond if you weren't the chosen people? Chosen people. Because that's how God wants you to be. God wants you to humble yourself enough to say, even if I'm not the chosen, I'm going to still be a blessing to somebody. I'm going to still love my neighbor. I'm going to still be obedient. But like I said, most of these people are following this stuff because it puts them at the highest moral position. Them folks in China really believe. Them folks serving Yah in China really believe. Them folks serving Yah in the Middle East really believe. Them folks really believe because they're doing it under the duress of death. So them folks in them other countries really and truly believe. I'd venture to say that most of y'all over here, if y'all was having y'all life threatened by what y'all was doing, y'all wouldn't do it. I'm just being honest. Them folks in them other countries are dying behind this stuff that we claim to be following and love so much. So until I see the faith of them folks in the Middle East and China and Africa, I don't want to hear it. Because them folks getting their head cut off for Yah and Yeshua or Yahushua or the Messiah. They getting their head chopped off for that. And you all aren't. Matter of fact, you all aren't even obedient when you even doing it. So most of y'all disobedient doing it. Meanwhile, they're over there getting persecuted. So I seriously doubt that you all would do it because y'all ain't doing it without being under duress. Thank you again, Sneakerhead, for the super sticker. Always showing support, always showing love. Thank you, Cole, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. But I want to get into some of these videos I have. I have a video that's about reparations. These folks went up into this reparations meeting in Oakland, and they showed out. And the meetings are too long to even go through them. They're like 2 hours, part one and part two, but it's like over 2 hours a piece. But these clips I have are just absolutely hilarious. Let me, oh my goodness. Let me go to it, man. But also, I encourage you all to go support Eshawn Burgundy's album. I think it dropped this week or maybe today. But I encourage you all to go support it because it actually is A+. It's an A+ album. But let's get started.
At the end of the day, any amount is too little and every amount is never enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we said from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected to get reparations as well, to pass down to the people.
I think the reparations should be as follows. It's to be gifted to us with gold and silver bullion to, as I said before, my antebellum slaves and ancestors and their heirs. It should be measured in the amount of 1 troy ounce of gold and silver per each antebellum slave and their descendants according to the conditions of the mother for 16 generations. That equals 1,724 metric tons of gold and silver bullion.
At the end of the day, any amount is too little and every amount is never enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we said from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected to get reparations as well, to pass down to the people.
I think the reparations should be as follows. It's to be gifted to us with gold and silver bullion to, as I said before, my antebellum slaves and ancestors and their heirs. It should be measured in the amount of 1 troy ounce of gold and silver per each antebellum slave and their descendants according to the conditions of the mother for 16 generations. That equals 1,724 metric tons of gold and silver bullion.
At the end of the day,
So you all pretty much got a clear indication. It was the Moors there. It was the black people there. It was the so everybody was there talking about reparations because they want to get that check. Everybody wanted this money. And one guy had the audacity to say that the dead homies even deserve reparations. Now, it's funny that the dead homies were spinning the block shooting and killing people, but they deserve reparations. I told you all, it's not about anything righteous. It's just not. It's just not. You know, it's just not. But anyway, so the one lady starts off by saying, no amount is good enough. No amount is high enough. No amount is good enough. So in other words, you can't satisfy reparations. So in other words, this will never end. And again, like I said, black folks don't want justice. Black folks want revenge. I'm going to say this again. 5% of white people own slaves. That means 95% of white people did not own slaves because they either didn't agree with slavery or they couldn't afford it. If we fast forward today, 89% of the wealth 89% of the wealth in this country is owned by 11% of Americans. That means 89% of Americans are living off of 11% of the wealth. So again, when we break down these raw numbers and this data and all these statistics, we find that most of what we are looking at and being emotional over is just it's not propaganda. It's just not true. It's just propaganda. This is not true. And they got us because we feed into these things because they tug at our emotions. And the problem is that we're looking at the world and not looking at the Most High. This is how we're moved so much, because we're looking at the world. We're not looking at God. We're looking at everything the world got going on, and we're making our assessment. Most people base their morality around what everybody else is doing around them. Because most people do a temperature check in the room to see, okay, and they've done these studies. They've done the studies where they'll tell somebody to go in a room and do something, and then you'll see the other folks follow the person doing it. This is in the nature of a person. This is the nature of humanity. People base their morality off of what's going on around them. So if they see everybody else doing something, they say, well, I can do it too. That's the whole feminist argument. If men can do it, we can do it too. That's most people base their morality off of what somebody else is doing. What's up, Venus? What's up, Pamela? What's up, Crystal? What's up, Jay? What's up, Patrick? Right. Destro said God is a more. Let's go to this other video.
$1,000 in reparations is not enough money for people in California.
Any amount is too little, and every amount is never enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we straight from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected to get reparations as well.
You owe my dead homies too.
What in the hell are you talking about?
So the government needs to throw out millions of dollars to dead people?
So if you don't accommodate us and you don't assist us, just watch what our God is going to do to America.
I'm lost here. Do black people have a different God than the rest of Americans?
Now, black folks been talking about what God's going to do to America, and it ain't happened yet. It ain't happened yet. Because what's going to happen to America ain't because what black folks is talking about. What's up, Shelly? Shell Mimi. Shelly Mimi. But this man just said, if they don't give reparations, then God going to exact judgment. They're supposed to give reparations 200 years ago in the 1800s. And then if you read the history, they actually started handing out reparations, and then they took it back. There's going to be 5 states. I think it was like Georgia, Florida, the Carolinas, and maybe Tennessee or something. There's going to be 5 states, and they started handing it out, then they took it back. Now listen, if the acres is on, listen, if 40 acres is on the book, and it was promised to my ancestors and it's on the books, then I feel like we should get it. But the catch is going to be, can you prove you are a descendant of a slave? The irony of all this talk is going to expose how many of y'all wasn't slaves. It's going to be so hilarious, the look on y'all face to find out that you weren't a slave. Black folks are going to be fighting to be an ancestor of a slave. Not relieved. Black folks are going to be fighting. What you mean I ain't a slave? Man, I tear this whole building up. I was a slave. Listen, I know black folks are going to. You want to see a riot? You want to see a protest? Let these folks go through the history and figure out these folks wasn't slaves. Boy, they going to throw a fit. Y'all know it and I know it. Boy, they going to they going to act a plumb fool behind them not being able to get reparations because they can't prove they're a slave. And I can just see it now. Well, judging by our records, we not only don't have you being a slave, we don't even have you even coming over here from Africa on a ship. That's odd. We have no record of you even going through the transatlantic slave trade, nor do we have a record of your people being a slave. Sorry, sir, no reparations. Yeah, man, I'm looking here, man. I know you say you look African, but you actually don't have any record of ever being a slave. Not even it says right here, not a chain, not near piece of cotton was picked, not a chain or shackle, not a shack, not a burlap sack. In fact, it says no indication of slavery at all. It's gonna be like being on the what was the show where Maury Povich would read a DNA test. It's gonna be like you were 99.9% not a slave. Y'all never had a slave. They gonna have a slave DNA test. You were 99.99%. You were never a slave. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, I can't wait. Y'all know I can't wait, right? Y'all know I can't wait, right? Y'all know I can't wait, right? Y'all know I can't wait. I can't wait. Ma'am, sorry, it says right here, ma'am, 99.9% you never were a slave. I'm sorry. I can't wait. I can't wait. Right, Doug. Right, Doug. You were not a slave. You know, like when they say you are not the father, you were not a slave, boy. You want to see black folks nut up. Let them folks say they can't prove they was a slave, boy. They about to, ooh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What you mean I wasn't a slave? Look at me. Oh, I can see it. I can see it. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. But anyway, the stipulation is going to be proving that you were an ancestor of a slave. And the funny thing is when folks start digging, they're going to actually find they wasn't slaves. And it's going to be absolutely hilarious. And I can't wait. Yeah, Doug, we talking about right. Y'all have not seen a riot like when these folks get told they wasn't slaves. And then here go the cold part. It's going to be a bunch of white folks coming up saying I was a slave, and they're gonna look at the records and saying, yeah, Tom, Mary, you were slaves. We see it right here. We see the lineage. We see it passed out. Like the irony is, it's gonna be folks that y'all are gonna say there's no way they could be slaves, but you don't realize that how somebody's looks is not based on lineage. They got black folks worshiping skin and not even understanding lineage. Do y'all realize that the first quote unquote slave in America, Barack Obama's mother, is the descendant of him? Barack Obama's mother is the descendant of the first slave in America. How was that possible when she was lily white? Because y'all don't understand lineage and bloodlines. So what I'm telling you all is his mother, Barack Obama's mother, would qualify for reparations because she is the descendant of the literal first slave in America. Them ancestor tests were a joke. Who was the guy? Henry Louis Gates. He said it was making it up. I can play the video. He said it was making it up. Yes, there were white slaves as well. Yes, all of this. I'm just saying, when it comes down to prove you were a slave, folks in for a rude awakening. I can't wait. Let's continue with this video. Let's start it over.
Apparently $200,000 in reparations is not enough money for people in California.
Any amount is too little, and every amount is never enough.
Your job is to hear us. We want transparency. First thing I said yesterday was the dead people in front of us. And we straight from my neighborhood, the dead homies. They will be respected and get reparations as well.
You owe my dead homies too.
What in the hell are you talking about?
So the government needs to throw out millions of dollars to dead people?
So if you don't accommodate us and you don't assist us, just watch what our God is going to do to America.
I'm lost here. Do black people have a different God than the rest of Americans?
God help us all.
I don't think that's how that works.
It should be measured in the amount of 1 troy ounce of gold and silver per each antebellum slave and their descendants.
You want gold and silver bars? Just take the cash.
So, Khalil said on Instagram, the ancestry tests were used to collect DNA exactly. You notice there was a big push to collect DNA, and then miraculously, here comes the Peter pandemic, dealing with bing, bing, ding, DNA. The irony of them collecting all this DNA, and then miraculously, here comes the Peter pandemic. How convenient. I got another video. And this whole race thing is crazy. Right, Doug. So you mean to tell me after everything that black folks claim was done to them, that not getting reparations is the last straw for God? Get out of here, man. It's comical, but it's sad because this is black people and this is black culture. But I reject the notion that black people are lost and were ever lost. In the scriptures, in the Bible, it says, Exodus 7:13 and 14, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened, he refuseth to let the people go. In other words, pay attention. If God doesn't harden Pharaoh's heart, then what happens? If God had to harden Pharaoh's heart, then that means that Pharaoh's heart wasn't hardened. If God had to harden Pharaoh's heart, and that means Pharaoh's heart wasn't hardened. So God had to harden Pharaoh's heart to get Pharaoh to say, I won't let the people go. So in other words, Pharaoh might have been willing to let the people go, or might have been willing to cut a deal with the people. I believe that God knew if he didn't harden Pharaoh's heart, the people would never be free from bondage because they never would have left. I believe that God hardened Pharaoh's heart because if he didn't, the people never would have left. If the Pharaoh would have came to the people and said, I'm sorry, I'm going to pay y'all 1 cent for building these bricks, the people of Israel would have celebrated. Just like Joe Biden. Joe Biden came and said, I represent getting Trump out of office. I'm not coming to drain no swamp. I'm not coming to expose nobody. I'm not coming to free. I'm coming just to get Trump out of office. And black folks said that's good enough. If Pharaoh would have said, I'll give y'all 1 penny for building these bricks and slaving, and they would have said, okay. Or he would have said, y'all can go. Them folks would have stayed there to enjoy the decadence. You see, truth be told, the children of Israel really wasn't, their goal wasn't really to be free. They wanted to be able to indulge in the Egyptian life without consequence. That's what they wanted. Their intent wasn't to be free. They were just like, we got to do backbreaking labor and we got to serve the Most High. That's too much. That's too much. And we know this is true because when they were on their way to the promised land, they literally did everything the Egyptians did. So their intent behind wanting to be free wasn't really to be free. It was really to just be able to sin without consequence. The goal of Joe Biden being president wasn't to make America better. It was to get Trump out of office. It was to see the white man lose. I'm not saying that Trump is a great guy or any of that. I'm just saying the intent behind why black folks broke the record for Joe Biden was just that. It was the same. It would have been the same as Pharaoh saying, okay, I'll let y'all go. And they would have said, we free. We're going to stay here and indulge in Egyptian life. Because to me, honestly, what they really wanted was to be able to really be up under Pharaoh so they could live a decadent life. This is why God had to make his heart hardened so that he would say, I ain't going to let the people go. Otherwise, he would have said, okay, y'all free, do what y'all want to do, and I'm going to pay y'all. The people would have never left. The only way to get them folks out of Egypt was to harden Pharaoh's heart. And God had to show the people, and listen, our Father is so awesome. In the whole process, we have God showing the children of Israel that he's real. Even with the plagues that he was doing to Pharaoh, he's still proving to the people that he's real. The whole time of Exodus, it was God showing the people, I'm real. So now, y'all ain't even got to have faith. Y'all know I'm real. All you got to... Y'all ain't even got to have faith. You ain't even got to believe. All you got to do is be obedient. I'm showing you I'm real. So all you got to do now is just be obedient. I done got rid of the faith and the belief. I'm real. Just believe. Then people said no. No. They went and left Egypt. It took them 40 years. And in that whole 40 years, we done got the 10 Commandments. So that means God said, listen, I'm going to give y'all 10 things to follow. 10. Follow these 10 things and y'all going to be straight. Wouldn't do it. Right. Right. And so at the end of the day, if I made it easy, you never would have moved. Exactly. And the problem is that these stories in the Bible really speak about character. What they've done in the present is they've made black folks believe that if there wasn't any white influence, black folks would be perfect. But clearly we can agree that during this time of Exodus, there are no white people around. We can agree that during this time of Exodus, there are no white people around, and quote unquote black folks is worshiping false idols, killing each other, adultery, fornication. So again, white people didn't corrupt black folks. In fact, if white people came later, then that means that black folks corrupted white people. Because y'all told me that white folks came from the mountains on all fours, ran down to the great civilized kingdoms of Kemet and ancient Kush, and took y'all over on all fours. Cavemen and Neanderthals came down from the mountains and defeated an advanced civilization. Y'all will make up anything to avoid accountability. Anything. And at the end of it all, the chosen people choose God. So, let's go to another video. But I just wanted to highlight that God had to make Pharaoh's heart harden. So, in other words, God didn't even trust the people enough to leave if Pharaoh freed them. That's sad. I want y'all to think about the exhaustive measures that God has taken to get us to obey. I'm talking about exhausting to get us to be obedient. The Messiah said, listen, the lawyer said, what's the most important commandment? He said, the most important commandment is love thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy mind. The second one is like unto it, love thy neighbor by thyself. On these two things hang all the law and all the prophet. He even simplified it down to two. And folks still won't do right. If Adam and Eve couldn't follow one commandment, well, one commandment, don't eat the fruit. If Adam and Eve, who knew God was real, who had no need of faith, no need of belief, Adam and Eve knew God was real. They didn't need faith, or belief, or a scripture, or any laws, none of that. Adam and Eve still fell short. Still fell short. What makes you all think y'all can do it? You haven't even mastered the basics. I was thinking today, I was like, folks don't even fast. Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. Most folks can't fast for a day. And we know the fat gene is a lie. Because when we go to them concentration camps in Europe and Germany, you didn't see near fat person in the concentration camp. So that lets you know that the cause of being obese and being fat is food. Because in an extreme circumstance where you don't get any food, you malnourished. Not just skinny, you're malnourished. You got to fast to subject your flesh. The reason why most folks can't stop sinning is because they let their body indulge in everything. They don't deny themselves any comfort in life. Minister Farrakhan said white people were created by Jacob, the big head scientist. You can't make this stuff. Okay. Let's say the big head dude white people, right? So what happened? What happened? Thank you, Jordy. What happened? If Jacob the big head, I want to say something else, but I can't say it. If Jacob the big head guy created white people, What happened? Tell me how your science project took you over. Explain it to me. Explain to me how your science project was able to take you over. This doesn't make any sense to me. Y'all are telling me that white folks are inferior in every area except when it comes to conquering black people. How is that possible? So again, the children of Israel were disobedient. They weren't lost. They were doing this stuff on purpose. The whole reason they were crying out to God was not because they were oppressed by Pharaoh. They were crying out to God because they wanted to be relieved of the responsibility of being righteous, being in right standing with the Most High. Like I said, it's Yah. It's y'all versus Yah. This is why I talk about being born again. Because being born again means you can no longer indulge in your own ways. Which is why most folks don't talk about being born again. You don't hear very many people talking about being born again because they know that born again means I can't do what I used to do. If I'm not born again, I can always say when I fall short, when I sin. No. Anybody can sin. Everybody in the world has a commonality, and that is sin. So if you're still sinning like the world and God's no respecter of person, then how are you believing in God? How? If the world is sinning and you're sinning, what's the difference? Oh, I get it. You're saying you're asking for forgiveness. The world does too. So does the world. So my question is, you done spent all these years in the faith and you're still sinning? You mean to tell me you've been on a job for 40 years and you're still messing up? You mean to tell me you've been playing basketball all this time and you still ain't perfected it doesn't exist in any other area of our existence where you do something all these years, you're not a master of it. How are we not mastering walking in this faith? How are we not mastering being like the Messiah? How are we not mastering this? I'll tell you why. Because deep down inside, we still want to sin. And we look around the room and we say, you know what? Nobody's perfect, so I'm good. The greatest trick that the devil played on black folks was that they have an excuse. The greatest trick of Satan is to tell black folks it's white folks' fault. That's the greatest trick ever. Because now, if it's white folks' fault, I can't really be held accountable because they did it. God had to harden Pharaoh's heart because otherwise the children of Israel would have never left. And honestly, all they wanted to do was indulge in decadence. That's all. Black folks' number one complaint is we can't do what white folks can do. Listen to any black person talking about anything of race, and the foundation of it is we can't do what white people can do. The children of Israel are saying we want to be able to enjoy the life of Egypt and Babylon. That's what they wanted, to enjoy the life. We're tired of these rules and regulations. Now you see why God created all the laws. Even the laws, they were disobedient. The laws didn't work. The commandments didn't work. The Messiah didn't, none of this stuff works. You know why? Because intent matters. That's why. Because why you're doing something matters. That's why. And most of these folks only follow what they follow because it makes them be the victor or come out on top. It's not godly. Y'all need to be a part of stuff that might cause you to lose. You might lose in the end. How about that? Follow that. Follow something where you might lose in the end. Because truth be told, without God, you ain't going to win no way. You going to lose. That's how it's set up. It's set up for me to lose. It's set up for you to lose. It's set up for you to lean on your Father completely. That's how the system is set up. Even the system itself is driving you to the Father. Even the system itself is pushing you to be like the Messiah. Even the system is pushing you to listen to the Holy Spirit. I was reading some stuff in the Quran. I just find it strange. It's just a brief side note. I just find it strange that Jesus, or in the Quran, Yeshua is mentioned. I think it's Yeshua. I think it's something Jesus or something they call him. We'll just say Yahshua. Let's say Yahshua is mentioned. Just say Yahushua is mentioned 37 times in the Quran. But Muhammad is mentioned 5 times. 4 times as Muhammad and then 1 time as Ahmed. Now, isn't that strange? That the Muslims in their own book mentions the Messiah 37 times and only mentions Muhammad 5 times. But they follow the guy that's mentioned 5 times. The Quran says that Christ was born of a virgin. The Quran says that God gave Christ special abilities, powers. The Quran also says that on Judgment Day, Christ is going to talk to Allah. Can somebody help me out? Something's not adding up. How is everybody focused on Muhammad when it clearly states that Allah favored Jesus? Yahusha. I'm just saying. I just think now think about the craziness about this, right? The Quran, when it comes to Christ, mentions Christ 37 times, Muhammad 5. So the Bible mentions Christ obviously more than that. But my point is, these are 2 books that are heavily centered around the Messiah, right? So why doesn't the Quran get the scrutiny that the Bible gets? 2 books heavily centered around the Messiah, heavily centered around the Messiah being born of a virgin, having special powers and all this, all that. So why isn't the Quran scrutinized like the Bible? No. Listen. No, Edna. I wasn't saying. No. I'm not confused about the name. I'm simply saying that all of these names, whether we say Jesus, Messiah, Christ, Yahusha, Yeshua, what is the intent behind the person? What is the intent behind the person? Like, intent matters. So what is it to say if a person says Jesus or a person says Yahusha? What does it say about the person though? How you living your life? To me, what most folks do is they pick something to say, I can do this to make myself right with God. And so they pick something tangible. And I'm like, well, if it was that easy, then we wouldn't need a Bible. Because the folks in the Bible actually knew God for real. There wasn't no faith walk. They saw miracles. They saw God. They saw it. They walked with Jesus. All of that. And they still disobeyed. So clearly, the names, the law, that stuff ain't the thing. It's not. The thing is, what is the intent of the person? What's in a person's heart? The scribes, the Pharisees, all these people, man, the Sadducees, the elders, they all did follow the law. Knew the law inside and out. All that. And they still didn't do it. You know why? Because they heart. So I'm asking these people, would you want to be a Hebrew Israelite if you wasn't chosen? No. The answer is no. Would you want to be a Moor if you wasn't the first? The answer is no. Would you want to be black if you wasn't a king and queen? The answer is no. So again, the intent behind all of this stuff is pride, ego, and narcissism. That's all it is. The name of God was so holy back then, they couldn't even speak the name. They couldn't even say it. The name of God, even when God was asked his name, he even said, I am that I am. Don't worry about my name. I am that I am. How about that? Who should I tell the people that you are? I am that I am. Think about that. What's your name, sir? Him. What's your name, ma'am? Her. And the irony of today, that actually being a form of rebellion, to say you a him and a her. I'm a man, I'm a woman, period. Right, Cole? It's about your relationship with God. That's what matters. And what I see is a bunch of folks that don't have a relationship. I see a bunch of folks trying to do things to make it seem like they have a relationship. If I speak in Hebrew, I'll get closer to God. No, you not. It's a Chinese person speaking in Chinese. You think God is like, I don't understand Chinese? It's a Mexican person, Spanish person speaking in Spanish. It's folks all over the world speaking in their tongue. Do you think God is hearing them? Or is God just hearing Hebrew? Or is God just hearing English? I'm telling you what God is hearing. God is hearing obedience. God ain't listening to your mouth. God is listening to your heart. What is your true intent? I got a heathen in my comments. You don't need books to know God. Listen, heathen. You know how I know he's a heathen? Because I guarantee if I peel back the layers of his life, foolishness. If God is an omnipotent being, if God is the greatest thing ever, what audacity does a person have to think that I can know God on my own terms? Because that's what he's saying. I can know God on my own terms. I don't need a book. I don't need a scholar. I don't need a preacher. I can know God on my own terms. So I can be decadent, disobedient, disillusioned, and say I know God. I'm spiritual. Heathens. Heathens. So again, that's why I titled this it's y'all versus Yah. I forgot to put the H on the end. Right. He knew he was talking to God because he said, I am that I am. Well, you asked me my name. Who are you? What you asking my name for? Do what I said do. Who should I tell the people that you are? Because, Moses was a people pleaser. Who should I tell them that you are? I am that I am. Don't give them no kind of title to make them feel comfortable. That's all they want. What can we call them? Give us a name we can call them so we can really not listen to them. So we can be disobedient. That's what it boils down to. Is decadence and disobedience. That's all it is. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. Let's continue.
Quickly, what I was saying, and I try to teach this to my children. We live in a Christian community, and looking around this room, the majority of these people seem like Christians, and they seem like God-fearing people. I want to say, if you're going to say nigger, which is a terrible word to me, you have to open it to both races, because black people and white people are the same inside. Nigger, if you want to explain it like that, there are some of those here today, other than Oprah. She's not a nigger. Sorry, Oprah. I didn't say that.
Yo, listen. That clip is hilarious. It's just a hilarious clip.
About white niggers and black niggers. Where is she? Stand up and say that if you don't mind. Please, yes.
Quickly, what I was saying, and I try to teach this to my children. We live in a Christian community, and looking around this room, the majority of these people seem like Christians, and they seem like God-fearing people. I want to say, if you're going to say nigger, which is a terrible word to me, you have to open it to both races, because black people and white people are the same inside. Nigger, if you want to explain it like that, there are some of those here today, other than Oprah. She's not a nigger. Sorry, Oprah. I didn't say that.
So basically, but again though, what this woman said is profound. And it's profound because what she's saying is, she's saying that based on what you're using the word for, anybody can be that. That word isn't based on skin color in context. It's not. Because she's saying if we're basing the word on someone's actions, then I could say that y'all could be the N-word too. Most folks don't even understand that people are getting bent out of shape because, again, this is a worldly ideology where you say, because I look a certain way, all of this stuff over here applies to me, even when it doesn't. And Edna, listen, Edna, we know that America can't be racist because Oprah was 300 pounds with a Jerry curl and white women loved her. White women made Oprah a billionaire, not black women. White women was watching Oprah. So what was making white women glue themselves to the TV to listen to the woman that was 300 pounds with a Jerry curl talk? I'll tell you why. They wasn't racist. That's why. Oprah had a good show. She was a great host. All of this stuff comes from a lack of identity or a false identity. When you came out the womb, they told you that you were black. They didn't ask you. They said you're black. Nobody asked your permission. Do you want to be black? Nobody. You black. We don't agree with that. Nobody asked you if you wanted to be black. They just told you was black. So how are you consenting to something that you never gave consent to? How are you consenting to something that you never gave consent to? You never gave consent to be black. And this is why I said I'm not black. I ain't black, I'm free. Right, Cole. Black folk was watching Sally, Jesse, Raphael, and black folks might have been watching Donahue. But them white women was watching Oprah. Hey, listen, I am Stony. You don't agree with what I'm saying? Leave the chat. Just leave. I don't understand. And this is why the world's going down in flames. Because grown men can't just be grown men on their own. Just don't. Why even, if you disagree with what I'm saying, why even listen to me? I'll tell you why. Because deep down inside, he know I'm telling the truth. But the demon in him, the evil spirit in him, is telling him to cause confusion, to stir up mischief, disrupt the chat. His spirit is saying, listen, you heathen. Listen, you vagabond. Listen, you coward. His flesh is saying, disrupt the chat. This is why the world's going down in flames. Because when it comes to a person, intent matters. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, what is your intent to be on the show? Think about it. This is what the world, that intent doesn't matter. What is your intent for being on the show? Your intent is to be used by Satan. Well, black folks, I would say this. I would say that black folks do have a culture. Black folks' culture is a response to propaganda, though. It's a culture, but it's not based on something that's actually real. You know, black culture is based in propaganda. But this lady in the audience said that contextually, if anybody displays the behavior, they can be the N-word. So the N-word shouldn't even be offensive. And the irony of the N-word now is that black folks have said the word is bad, but we still want to use it, but you can't use it. Right. How can two walk together unless they agree? Here goes another video.
Late. Like, it's not cute, it's not funny, it's not a...
When y'all are ready to learn about the connections between this, and the white American cultural norm with obsessing over being on time, please let me know. Because as someone who is Black, queer, has ADHD, and studies African American history and culture, it's one of my favorite things to talk about.
So is she saying that Black people can't be on time? I think she's speaking for an entire race because she can't be on time, is what it sounds like. Yeah, why extrapolate so far? Just be like, hey man, the train I was on got delayed. I'll be 10 minutes late. I'll see you soon. Let me know if I need to grab anything. Yeah. It's like, nah, I'm going straight to race war. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's where they go. I was late, right? And it's because, because why? You spilled your coffee? No, it's because white people, historically. Yeah, she's like the cable guy. It's like, oh, I'll be there between 12 and 4.
Now, the irony about what she said is that most Black people agree with her. All she has to say is Black people operate on a different time schedule than white people. We have what they call CP time. White people made us be on time because they wanted the work production in the field. So the whole being on time thing started with slavery, with Black folks picking. She can say anything like that, Black folks going to agree with it. The Smithsonian put out something that literally said everything good was racist, was white supremacy. It literally said that everything good was white supremacy. Working hard, having goals, accomplishing goals, being on time, believing in family, believing in one God, like everything that was good, the Smithsonian said was white supremacy. You think Black folks protested against that? You think Black folks said this is wrong? No. Planned Parenthood tweeted, it is safer for a Black woman to have an abortion than to have a child. Do you think Black folks push back against it? No. This is a problem. I'm going to say it again. All these Black organizations, I don't care who they are, Moore, Hebrew Israelite, African American, Black Power, Conscious Struggle, I don't care who it is, the foundation of it is pride, ego, and narcissism. Because at the core of it, it says, it's not my fault, it's white people's fault. That's at the core of all of it. This woman just said being on time is racist. They did a study last year, 2 years ago, math is racist. So what they're telling you, Black people, is they want you to be the degenerates of society so that when they implement this new system, they can put you back into slavery. That is the goal. The goal for Black folks is slavery. Because you all are the people of influence. So they can get the people of influence to voluntarily be enslaved, then the rest of the world will follow. Chosen people. Chosen people. Trying to find this video I was watching earlier to reiterate this point.
say from a fellow.
Oh man. Maybe I saw it on. Maybe I saw it on. I might have saw it on IG, but it was about abortion. I don't know why I didn't save it. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. It was I wanted to play this video before I play this other video. It was that guy, Charlie, I think, something. What's that guy's name? I think his name is Charlie. Man. Y'all know him too. I thought it was Charlie 17. That's his name. I got him. Charlie Kirk. Here we go. I want you to hear this young lady. This young lady talk about the benefit of abortion. Oh, that's not it. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm trying to find the one who's talking to that girl. Because she says something. Oh, here it goes. Found it.
At some point, somebody's truth has to...
Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let me stop the screen. Let me share. Let me go to it real quick. Then I'm going to get on to this.
to win. Because guess what? Your truth doesn't matter.
But guess what? You've had your truth in this country for the past thousands of decades.
Thousands of decades.
Not thousands. Whatever. That's a little embarrassing. But like your truth has been the narrative of this country forever. And you think yes, the white straight male truth.
Abortion was legal in this country for 40 years.
And before the 40 years, what was
and
it?
crime dropped
40%
after it went.
On top of that,
wait, hold on. Do you think abortion lowers crime rates?
Crime dropped 40% after abortion became legal.
Why is that the case?
It's called a statistic.
Who has the most abortions in America?
Women.
Black people. Is that so? Are you trying to say the termination of blacks in the womb lower crime? That's a very racist argument.
That is not.
At some point, somebody's truth has to win. Because guess what? Your truth is...
Now, you see how crazy that sounds? You see how crazy this sounds? This girl said that crime dropped 40% after abortion was made legal. 40%. And black women lead the nation in abortion. It's crazy. But again, above them being ignorant is culture. This is a college campus culture where they specialize in this woke. This is what they do. Just be woke all day. And then all the black people like being around these white folks because these white folks cater to them. Make them feel good. Thank you so much, Michaela, for the super sticker. But there's this one video I want to show, and yeah, she said it. She said crime dropped 40%, and then he said, who has the most abortions? He meant to say black women have the most abortions. So in other words, her argument is the crime dropped because less black people were born. It's sad, you know. But most folks won't even connect that dot if he isn't there. Like if Charlie isn't there, then when she says that, folks just cheer for abortion. And then he comes in to add some context, and then people are like, whoa, what the heck's going on? Yeah. Yeah, but she said it. This video,
you guys know how it is when you buy a new Mac. It's super fast.
This video now I've actually been watching like Kevin Samuel's actual, not just the hot takes, but I've actually been watching his when he spends like time with one woman, like 40 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And it's funny because I know, and I used to say this all the time, I know people don't watch his show. All they do is hear a hot take and they run with it. But in this one video, he pretty much dissects black culture, black women's culture in this video. And there were some key points in this video that were like, this may actually be his best video in the sense that he covers the topics that black folk, like the excuse, like it's pretty good. I'm gonna just, clip through it, but I want to talk about this because the video is actually very good and very profound. Thank you again, Michaela, for the super sticker. Parents need to encourage their children in the Lord, teach them to build a business. Sending them to these indoctrination camps shouldn't be an option, right? I mean, honestly, at this point, if your child goes to college surrounded by propaganda, going to, like, think about it, places like college, church, what else? Most probably social gatherings. It's all just a one-sided narrative. You got to be inclusive, the right. I mean, I'm just telling y'all right now, there's going to come a time where they're going to make you put that rainbow and trans, that new trans flag rainbow thing on you. I'm telling you. They're going to make you support it. You're going to be fined for not doing it. Right, can be. We're going to have to create our own communities with our own school, which instills the word and nurtures their gifts and talents that will make room. Exactly. We have to. This is where we are. We got to separate. My boy always says that we got to separate. Right, though. We got to separate. We have to separate. But this video is excellent. I mean, it's when I tell you this video, and it's funny because most black women that didn't like Kevin Samuels won't even watch this video. Like, there's so many videos out there. Like, and I tell you what happened. I said two things. The first thing was somebody was going to replace Kevin Samuels, and they were not going to be black. I said that. And the second thing I said, once he passes away, all the truth is going to come out. Black folks are always a day late and a dollar short. Always. Black folks are always a step behind when it comes to necessary information. Always. But let's continue. Hold on.
So you're saying they're disgruntled?
A lot of us are disgruntled, fed up.
Fed up with what?
A plethora of things. And I think it's not just one thing. Yeah, I think
Think a bunch of black women as snowflakes. Y'all ain't had to deal with nearly the stuff your mothers, your grandmothers, any other group of women. I think a lot of y'all are just fixated on your myopic problems. Because 54% of black men are single and childless. 16% of black men are responsible for 80% of the children in our community. So when you hear black women talk about black men, y'all are talking about an infinite, roughly less than 20% of black men, but you extrapolate it out to all men.
I don't.
Okay, I don't care about, it's not just you.
I know.
There's no reason at 31 years old, honestly, upset about many things. I'm sorry, but you didn't grow up in the Jim Crow South. You live in the freest time in history. You're the most educated, the freest group of women, and you act like the world. I said this in Miami. Women today are freer than they've ever been, but they listen to them talk. They act like they live under the Taliban.
I would argue free in what?
Oh, Jesus.
But
Now, this is good because she starts this video off talking about racism, white people, just all this stuff. And he was like, no. And I'm like, no. The reason why black folks are cutting up is not because of white people. How can you say you don't know your history, but then say you're cutting up because of your history? Something's not making sense. They don't correlate. It doesn't make any sense. This is not the reason black folks are cutting up. That's not the reason. Because of white people and slavery and racism, that ain't the reason. During slavery, we got married at almost 100%. So if that was true, then the byproduct of slavery should be marriage. How is it not marriage? He even dives into the notion that the system separated the black woman and the black man with the welfare state. With the welfare state. And I played that video on one of my lives where the men talked about their father. This video was in the 1960s. And these black men were complaining about black women and feminism in the 1960s. They also said that our fathers went through it and our grandfathers went through it. So that means that feminism in the black community with black women started even back then during slavery. He said, my grandfather dealt with it. Think about 1960s and his grandfather, he's probably about in his 30s then, his grandfather dealt with it. So we going back 100 plus years. Well over 100 plus years, 160 years, we going back. Well, to say his dad, so we going back, his dad that's 60, let's say his dad was 60, and his grandfather was 80. Yeah, about 140 years, we going back from the 1960s. And they said that they fathers and grandfathers had to deal with the feminism with black women. So maybe black women started feminism, not white women. Maybe Black women were the catalyst to encourage white women to be feminists. I'm just saying. Somebody said, Sojourner Truth, she's the one that said, "Aren't I a woman?" That was the first feminist statement uttered.
That's just me, but I mean,
And this is and the fact of the man, and the fact of the man, the fact that problem, and the fact of the answer, man, because you are more like a lot of college educated sisters, and you're frustrating to talk to.
okay.
Because we can tell you stuff, and then it's always, well, it depends. I know my friends, this nuance. I'm gonna be as delicate as I can. Black men get sick of hearing this shit. Y'all just never say yes. You never just say, is that right? That's the problem. We'll fix that. It's always, well, let's have a discussion. We're fucking tired of talking to y'all and trying to reason with y'all about everything. You give us what we want, or you go get with another group of men, and ain't nobody rushing to get y'all.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. I've worked in corporate America where other groups of men like, how do y'all deal with that at home? How do you deal with that? I don't even want to deal with it as an office manager. So you're saying they're disgruntled. Why are they disgruntled? We got a 50-some-odd% divorce, almost 60% divorce rate. But 8 out of 10 divorces in our community are filed by women. You listen to my show. How often do you hear women talk about, I'm in this relationship, but they're always the one leaving? I mean, seriously. What do you have to be disgruntled about outside the fact that we are 13% of this population? Racism, white supremacy, and institutional, it ain't going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. So stop complaining about it. The Chinese have done something about it. The Jews have done something about it. The gays have done something about it. Become powerful enough. But you can't become powerful enough because you're not with your men.
And that's what I want to be with.
Well, the way you become to be with your men is give us what the F we're asking for.
Yeah.
Fit, feminine, friendly, childlike, cooperative.
Okay. And what if you have all of those things and still?
Then you don't have all those things.
Okay.
That's the answer. Women like that have a man.
True.
So.
And the sad, and he gonna touch on some cultural issues too. But the sad thing is that she's convinced herself, because she looks a certain way, that this is her outcome in life. This is why it's so dangerous to have a fleshly identification, whether you be black, white, whatever, because the problem is that identification comes with its own set of rules. So at the end of the day, God, you either gonna be a child of God or you not. We can't keep doing this. I'm black, but I'm also no. You not. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. What does that mean? What does it mean? What is your intent behind telling the world you're a Hebrew Israelite? What is your intent behind telling the world you were Jewish, you Jewish? Or you're a king or a queen? What is your intent behind it? What is the purpose? I guarantee your intent and purpose is rooted in pride, ego, and narcissism. Guarantee it. There's no way in this world you would put this much stock into something that you were born as. How are people giving themselves credit for being black when they was born black? If you had to go through an obstacle course, a rites of passage to be black, it'd be more folks of other races being black than black folks. How much you want to bet? If there was a rites of passage to be black, you had to master these 10 courses. You had to master, let's say you had to master the 10 Commandments. There would be more black folks of other races than actual black people. Because I can guarantee black folks ain't going through no mastery course to be black. Guarantee. Because as soon as they say you got to read this book, black folks are like, nah, I'm out. You got to read this book, you got to study. Nah, I'm out. I'm good. If there was a standard to being black that had to be met, black folks wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. Let's continue.
Are you saying you have all those things and don't have a man?
I believe I do. I mean, I do have a man though.
A husband.
Not a husband. No, I don't. I do. Yeah, that's finding marriage-minded men is not as easy as
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not more, just from this app on my phone. And
Why should finding something valuable be easy?
It's not, and it shouldn't be.
Well, how long y'all been together?
2 years.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Time to go. I know.
So I don't want to hear shit about being frustrated. Did you start dating this man with the intention of being married?
Yes.
Now, based on this woman's talking, do you believe that she's with a wise man or a foolish man? Based on what she's saying, is she with a wise man or a foolish man? Now, I get why a guy would probably want to be with her. She's attractive. She has a good disposition. She's probably nice. You know, I can see why a guy would want to be with her. But do you honestly think she's with a wise man or a foolish man? Just based on what she's saying. You see, a lot of women get with guys that cater to that emotional chaos. They don't go for guys that's going to be the opposite of what they are on the inside. They don't. So what she is on the inside is who that guy she's with. He's the manifestation of that. This woman just said it's hard finding a guy that wants to get married. Okay. But the flip side is, are you a wife? Because that's the flip side of that statement. It's hard to find men that want to get married. Second question is, but am I a wife? She with a guy that's for 2 years. She's 31. They having sex. Let's go.
Did he start dating you with the intention of being married?
Yes.
Did you define the time frame of when a marriage should happen?
Yes, I'm giving it to the end of the year.
No. With the beginning.
No, that.
Then it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So when the way you ladies like to tell stories is that's the men's fault. No, man. You walked into a relationship. You went into a job, still negotiating your benefits package and your salary, but you're already at work. That's your problem. And then you think you can take that out and then project it out to everywhere else? So no.
No, it definitely took time for me to learn that. You're right. There's a learning curve,
But I'm also giving the benefit of the doubt too, man. Women who are really marriage-minded, like you're talking about, wouldn't have tolerated this.
You're right.
I know.
You're right.
They'd have been gone. So what I'm saying is oftentimes women will say there's something that they're not because they believe that. Because no, you wouldn't have tolerated it. So move you to the side. I hear women like you all the time, often. I hear women. I said, move you to the side. I often hear women talk about the structural issues of the country. We are a minority. If illegal immigrants can come over here from Mexico and took the black side of town,
I'm not disagreeing with you. You're right.
I know. Why can't the black community move? You ready for the truth? You really ready for it? Our population number has been stagnant for how long?
Probably the last 30 years.
Why?
I believe that you have a number of things. You have a lot of people who have decided to date outside of their race. Or
Listen to me. She knows the answer. And what she's doing is she's looking in her head to try to find an answer that she thinks he's going to accept. She's not being honest. Somebody said she ain't with no man. Yeah. Listen, time out. I'm not believing that she got a dude. I believe that she's messing with a guy. Not like I believe she's probably messing with a guy, but it's on his terms. It ain't like they walking through Central Park, eating a slice of pizza together. No. They ain't like Lady and the Tramp with the spaghetti, they end up kidding. No, they ain't doing all that. She messing with a dude on his terms. I can listen to the way she talks. She's a nice young lady, but she ain't the sharpest knife in the drawer. Come on now. We can see that. She, you know what I'm saying? She ain't, she trying to cut a steak with a butter knife and a spoon. She ain't but she's probably messing with a guy, But right now she being dishonest though, because she knows the answer to this question and she's trying to find the answer to give to him versus the truth, because he about to get into it right now. Let's continue.
Dating outside of your race still produces children. I don't think you really want the answer. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Old women are waiting too late to have kids.
That's not why our population numbers have been stagnant.
Well, then I give up. I don't know the answer to this.
Well, if people are still okay.
On my MacBook Air is the best app I've used all year, Clean My Mac X. And even if they weren't today's video,
think about it. Think about it. It's marital rates are dropping, sure, but what's have you ever looked at the Planned Parenthood and abortion rate in the Black community?
Yeah, because then the answer would be the amount of women that are having abortions. We make up the most, and from my understanding.
Now, she in her head looking around, feeling and fidgeting, and then as soon as he asks a question about Planned Parenthood and abortion, now she knows come on, y'all. This is the problem. This is the problem, is that people don't think intent matters. What is your true intentions when you are talking to Kevin Samuels? What is your intent? Because that matters. You're trying to come on this show to get some exposure, trying to put an ad out for yourself in hopes that a man gonna take the bait. And it's not gonna happen. Listen, it ain't about looks. This whole notion that black women aren't seen as it's foolishness. Black women, okay. You got the they call them passport bros, right? The passport bros leave the country to go find a wife or a woman, whatever. How many men from other country come to America besides Prince Hakeem and Simi? How many men from other countries become passport bros to come get an American wife? How come passport bros don't work in reverse? Why aren't the Chinese, well, the Africans come over here, but these come over and get him a white woman, get him a big white woman. But most men, when they come over here, don't come over here to get American women. They don't. And usually when it does happen, there's a benefit for the guy to be an American citizen via the woman. Men don't do it from other countries because the culture of the American woman is not conducive to raising a family. It's just not. 1 out of 10. And that 10% is them Nigerians getting them big white girls. But anyway, let's continue.
What's the number since the 70s?
I want to say something. It's a ridiculously high percentage of
What's the numbers? The number was it in the thousands?
millions
Millions?
of aborted babies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that statistic.
Yeah. Yeah. It can't have you got 80% of our children. In 1960, we had a 29% out of marriage birth rate. And that was considered to be a crisis in 1965. It's 80%, it's 70 to 80% now.
Mm-hmm.
The deletion rate in our community.
Yeah.
And who leads the community?
At the moment, or who should be leading?
Either answer.
At the moment, I will say Black women are leading.
Who should?
Now, it's funny to me that she's so lost, but now she's sobered up. She got so much clarity now what's going on. I know about that. It's in the millions. So you mean to tell me you know about abortion in the millions, but if I go to your page, you ain't talking about that. Your friends, she supports abortion because she wants to be able to mess with a foolish guy, be somebody's side chick, get pregnant, and abort the baby. This woman know what's going on. She know the truth, but she's purposefully being deceitful. She know all this stuff. She don't seem shocked by this stuff. She don't seem perplexed. She ain't got no epiphanies. She's like, I know. So that means what she's doing is on purpose. I.e., what Black folks are doing is on purpose. You rarely hear a Black person say, I don't know. You rarely hear a Black person say, I don't know. Even when she said, I don't know, she turned around and said, oh, I knew that. You rarely hear a Black person say, you know what? I don't know. Teach me. My father used to have a saying. I'm going to say it. My father had a saying, and he said, I never knew a nigga that didn't know everything. That was my father used to tell me. That's about, and I used to be like, what does that even mean? But now in my adult age, I see it. Because you rarely hear black folks say, I don't know. Black folks will argue something that they didn't even read, study, research. It's cultural though. Because black culture don't value education. Black culture values feelings and emotions. It don't value actually knowing facts and truth and statistics. No. But this young lady, she does have potential because she still has she ain't combative, she ain't argumentative, so you can work with her. I don't know how the body look, but the face looks good. She's pleasant, so you know she take care of herself. So you know, let's continue.
And there are no, and who leads the community?
At the moment, or who should be leading?
Either answer.
At the moment, I will say Black women are leading.
Who should be leading?
I do feel like men should be leading. Although some people probably who know me probably think that's
They think what?
not the most political correct thing, because some people I don't know, but I do believe the Black.
What do you mean not the most politically correct thing?
I believe Black men should be leading.
But you think people would say that's not a politically correct thing to say?
Yeah, there are some people who believe that, but I don't believe
Are they Black?
Yeah.
Are they female?
Some of them are, yeah.
Are they male as well too?
Yes. I mean,
heterosexual? Heterosexual men?
Not all, but some people believe that.
So let me ask you, if you ask any other race of woman who leads their community, are they gonna have a problem with giving seriously?
I mean, no, I think that's by design.
It's by choice. See,
now this is, the girl said it's not politically correct to say that Black men should lead the Black community, and that her friends would disagree with that. So that means she's around people that don't believe men should lead. Now imagine a guy that's watching her on this show and he says, ooh, she's my type. She looks good. I like the way she speaks. I like her hair. Like that's my type. Imagine all the men watching her, thousands, hundreds of thousands of men watching her. And this is the moment she can put her best foot forward. And she uses this moment to say, I hang around people that don't believe that Black men should lead. What in the world? I'll be real. If I'm dating a chick and we in the car, no, forget that. If I go on a date with a chick, it's the first date, and out of her mouth she tells me that Black women are disgruntled because of racism and all, I'm gonna be like, check. I ain't dealing with it. Because that whole racism talk segues into feminism. Because the same folks control the racism narrative, they control feminism, they control all this stuff is controlled by the same people. So if she on that whole white folks doing this and the Black women on it, she gonna be a feminist. And this girl just said, the folks I hang around don't believe that black men should lead, which means the folks that she hangs around don't believe that black men don't respect black men. Of course she was dating simps. Of course she either dating a guy that's gonna just sleep with her or a guy that's gonna cater to her and be a simp. A buster. That's it. She not finna get no good man, righteous man, because he ain't gonna listen to her. But let's continue.
I'm gonna do a program on this next week because that is the one of the final fig leaves. By saying by design, you can say, well, it's not really our fault. No, no, no.
Hi, my name is Alexa, and I would like to give you a few reasons why you should consider dating a young Asian lady.
Prior to the Great Society, prior to Linda,
I'm gonna go back. But what I noticed is when you watch like what they consider red pill content, all the commercials are like, come overseas and get you a woman. Like, you know, again, I'm gonna say this about the red pill movement. I agree with the red pill movement. However, the followers of the red pill movement, most of them guys are simps. Like, 'cause I'm like, there's no way you could have had this many bad encounters with women and it not be your fault. Like, again, most men want vagina. So they overlook warning signs and glaring inconsistencies with women, and they say, I want to sleep with her, so I'm going to let this slide, let that slide, so I can slide in. But most women know when you want to sleep with them. Women ain't naive. Should know. Women tell me every day they got women's intuition. So if you got women's intuition, there shouldn't be no woman on the planet getting played. If women's intuition is real, there should be no woman on the planet ever getting played by a guy. No way. Not with woman's intuition. This innate ability to know something that can't be seen, like lion or sword of omens give me sight beyond sight. Y'all got a special power. What's up, Queen Love? Come on, man. Women's intuition, but y'all steady getting tricked. Some ain't adding up. But the ads match the red pill content. I'm going to say this to any man. It's your decision. When it comes to the relationship, it's your decision. So I'll tell any man, choose wisely. But don't think because you get a woman overseas that she's not still going to be a woman. She's still going to be a woman. I've dated in my life. One time I dated a Korean girl. And I dated a, I guess white Greek girl. And all the rest been are women. But I will say this one thing though. I will say that out of the women I've dated, they all wanted the same thing. Like the Asian, white, black, they all want the same thing. What the woman wants was the same. Now, how they were might have been different. Culture might have been different. All that might have been different. But when it came to what they wanted out of me, it was literally the same. The same complaints that the white girl had, the Asian girl had, are the same complaints the black women had. It's the same thing. So I got an epiphany like, dang, these women ain't different as we think they are. What's different might be the culture, what they do, but a woman's going to be a woman. I don't care what race she is. A woman is going to be a woman. We have somebody on here that says when women may not follow it, but intuition is real in all of us for all facets of life. Yeah, but intuition is real for men too, though. See what I'm saying is, women say it's a woman's intuition, not just intuition. Intuition everybody has. Woman's intuition is specific. I'm just saying, if it's woman intuition, how are y'all getting tricked? That's all I'm saying. Somebody lying. Let's continue.
And I think that's by design.
No, it's by choice. See, I'm gonna do a program on this next week because that is the one of the final fig leaves. By saying by design, you can say, well, it's not really our fault. No, no, no. Prior to the Great Society, prior to Lyndon Baines Johnson, black women were already leaving black men. After World War, I'm going to do it all breakdown. We're going to give all the numbers to dispel this bullshit myth right here, because somehow we believe this just started in the last 50 years. And I'm sorry. We have, since the 1910s and 20s, they've been talking about this. Black women have been leaving black men right out of slavery. But I'm going to actually do the program with the data and the books and the references, so you can go look for it yourself.
I mean,
he said one key thing. He said it's not by design, it's by choice. The chosen people choose God. It's not a birthright. It's not a birthright. You are not cutting up because of what your ancestors did. You are cutting up because you want to cut up. When I was in the world, everything I was doing, I never even considered my ancestors. When I was in the world cutting up, that it never even crossed my mind. Slavery didn't cross my mind. White folks didn't cross none of this stuff crossed my mind when I was in the world, doing what I wanted to do. None of it. I didn't have a slavery flashback. I didn't get a Jim Crow rash. I didn't break out in segregation hives. None of that stuff happened. I did it because I wanted to do it. It ain't by design. It's by choice. And the chosen people choose God. You are not getting something because of a birthright, because you look a certain way, because you think you are something based on the way you look. And the Bible clearly says that God is no respecter of person. What separates people in God's eyes is those who are obedient and those who are not. Period. God is no respecter of person. Are you obedient or are you not? So it ain't by design, it's by choice. So again, black folks have been writing these excuses for decades. And the end result of all these excuses is about to go back into slavery. Because Klaus Schwab said, I don't care about your struggle. I don't care about your pain. I don't care about your oppression. I don't care about your white supremacy. I don't care about none of that. Klaus Schwab said, you're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy. Klaus Schwab said, I don't care about black girl magic. I don't care about the kings and the queens. Klaus Schwab said, you're going to own nothing and be happy. So y'all can keep running around, black this, white that, and you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be in the camp, and then you look around, it's going to be black this and white that. In the camp, though. And you do know that when it's just y'all liberals and y'all, I couldn't imagine. Do y'all realize that if all the folks that have some sense, if all the folks that choose God separated from these folks would they'd be miserable. We can't see it now because we're all woven throughout society, so we really can't see it. If we all was to separate, these people would tear each other apart. Right. Brian Kemp is at, I don't know, and what he doing at Davos? What is Brian Kemp doing at Davos? It's over. What is Brian Kemp doing at Davos? What in the world is Brian Kemp doing at Davos? Warnock ain't even at Davos. Abrams ain't even at Davos. You mean to tell me? Let's continue.
This didn't just happen in the last 50 years, man. We didn't just jump up and have a 29% out of wedlock childbirth rate in 1965. I mean,
but there was an incentive. I know that in my lifetime, there was incentives that caused.
Careful.
I mean,
careful. Now, what incentive you want to talk about? First off, I know what we want to talk about. We can, but I've already discussed the Monahan report, Monahan system. But bottom line, it's a choice. Women still chose. Incentive or not, they still chose. And at the end of the day, you say the black men should be leading the black community. Well, I got one question for you. How can black men, when black women say that, I ask you, what black men are you following?
My father.
And that.
So, who refused to answer any questions? Anyway, so basically, the black family is destroyed because the government, the Democrats, incentivized single parent households. So you mean to tell me the white man came to the house and said, get rid of that black man for this check? And black women said, okay. That would mean that black women already had the mind frame to do it in the first place. So that would mean that that type of mindset would have had existed before the 60s. Think about it. If the white man today went to Hispanics and said, you got to put Juan out the house to get this check, you honestly think that the Hispanic women would do it at a 80% rate? If he went to the white woman and said it, do you think white women would do it at an 80% rate? How about Asian? Of course not. So what would make a woman say, I'd rather get a check from the government than to have my man in the house? It's tough. That's tough. Do you think black men, if the government went to black men and said, if you get rid of the woman, we'll give you this check. You think black men would have did it? Honestly. Do y'all think black men would have done it if the government came to black men and said, if you get the woman out the house, we'll give you a check? Y'all know good and well the men wouldn't do that. Y'all know they wouldn't. So there had to have been something going on with black women to even entertain the idea. Pamela said yes. I don't think they would. Not back then. I don't think they would. I think now probably. I don't even think now, honestly. I don't even think now. I think if a man is with a woman and they have children together and he's taking care of the household, the government can't come and tell him to get rid of it. He ain't gonna do it. The story is told that the black man and black woman were in the house together and the government said kick them out and they did it. Ain't no man doing that. 80% of divorces are filed by women, even if the marriage is terrible. Even if the marriage is horrible, a woman has a 20% chance of a man leaving. 20%. Even if the marriage is at its worst and unbearable, a man will stay 80% of the time. That's a fact. Women will leave 80% of the time. I'm just saying, man. I think that if we go back to the period of slavery, if you think about it from the historical standpoint, black women would be the most valuable asset because they can give birth. So black women could nurse, they could give birth, they could also work and do domestic work and be leisure and pleasure. So black women served 5 purposes in that quote unquote slavery era. That made them the most valuable piece. So if they were the most valuable piece, then when it came to even constructing a slavery type society, black women would be held up higher. So I think that position and what black women could do gave them the status and the title. And even Alex Jones mentioned his father growing up, you know, as a young boy picking sugarcane, and he said it was black women running them plantations with shotguns riding on horses. He said it was black women running them. He said you had black women supervising black men and white men in the sugarcane fields. So this position of black women has always been around. Even my mother told me when I was young that there are only 2 free people in the world, and that is the white man and the black woman. And honestly, if you think about it, they pretty much mirror each other today. They do. From what I see. Ain't nobody holding, well, I take that back. Conservative white men are more under attack, but black women pretty much do what they want to do. And if you think about it, who is really holding? Think about it. If a black woman is overweight, she beautiful. If she loud and obnoxious, she's fierce and fiery. She don't take no mess. If she's twerking at a brunch, she's free. Like, there's no negative stigma for black women. If she aborts her child, she a trailblazer. If she leaves her man, she wanted to be independent. She wanted freedom. She's a hero. Like, there's no negative things for black women. There's none. Think about it. There's no negative portrayal. There's nothing. Lizzo is esteemed. Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Kamala Harris, Black Ketanji Brown. Who that girl? Sha'Carri Richardson. Come on, man. They ain't not gonna do what they want to do. Black women are the new white men of old. I'm gonna say this right now. You say because a man wants to avoid the cost of divorce. So that means that men will stay on a principal basis. You proving my point. You proving my point. Men will gut it and tough it out. You think a man gonna want to work hard just to give it? No, of course not. Men stay. This is a fact. Men stay. You can pick whatever reason you want to pick. Men stay. So that means that when it's all on the man, he gonna tough it out. When it's all on the woman, she gonna dip 80% of the time. Look at this, man. Why we gotta talk like this? How is it greedy if a man is taking care of a family? How is that greed? He's taking care of the family. He's providing for the family. And then she wants to get a divorce and take half. What man would want to do that? It'd be different if he wasn't taking care of the family the whole time. That's different. He's paying the whole time and you won't have. It's insanity. He's paying the whole time and I want half. That's not greed. That's practical, financial common sense. I'd rather try to make it work than lose out everything I've invested in when it comes to this family. Not only do I have to give half my stuff up, but now I ain't gonna be around my kids either. It's a lot the man has to consider when it comes to divorce, and it's not just money. It's his family life being ripped apart, and his children especially. Come on, y'all. Don't do men like that. That's that feminism talk. That's that feminism talk. You reduce men to being greedy. And no, don't do that. Most men stay, and it's not about money. Most men stay because they don't want to see their family torn apart. Men are simple. Most folks live in check to check. They ain't got no money. Come on, y'all. That's feminism talk. Most men ain't staying because they don't want to pay for no divorce. That's not why they staying. Men want peace. So if a man ain't got no peace at home and he's still staying, it got to be something that's worth more than money. That's feminism talk. I rebuke it. Let's continue.
Thank you. I said it on YouTube earlier. But bottom line, it's a choice. Women still chose. Insensitive or not, they still chose. And at the end of the day, you say the black men should be leading the black community. Well, I got one question for you. How can black men, when black women say that, I ask you, what black men are you following?
My father.
And thank you. I said it on YouTube earlier. Yeah. If you say your father, your cousin, your brothers, don't talk to me because it's supposed to be your husband. Thank you. You hear black women all the time talking about the institutional problems and the racism and this and that, but you ask who leads the community, they'll tell you women. They'll tell you it should be the men, and pull out your Uno reverse card and always ask them, what men are you following? And it will always be the same.
I don't know what happened to my picture.
It'll be the same. You're not following, you don't have a husband. I'm following my father. Your father ain't, and at 31 years old, look how far behind. You should have had a husband in your early 20s.
And I really desire, I do feel like, finding someone to lead, I want to follow a man, but I don't want to be led down the wrong path because.
Thank you. There it goes. All I had to do is wait. All I had to do is wait.
I know,
fear, scarcity, and lack, anxiety, and stress. No. I got it. It always comes to the same thing, people. They want to be led, but they want to be led the way they want to be led. This is a power struggle with them. This.
And this is the problem. And this is the problem with, and I'm not calling you a feminist. I'm simply saying that that is feminist talk. Most men don't cheat. Most men aren't even in a position to have access to multiple women to even cheat with. This ain't the movies. Most men probably deal with 3 women in their whole life. They deal with their girlfriend in high school, in college, and in their career. Most men ain't womenizers. Most men can't afford to be. So that's a poor notion. Most men are out here cheating. I was cheating. I was doing it. But most men ain't me. I didn't value what most men really value. Family, future, legacy. Most real men. So most men out here cheating. Most men want to get married and have a family, leave a legacy, and have that thing work. Most men don't want to get divorced. Most men want to have a family. But you heard what she said. She said her father, look at somebody say lies. Look, I'm telling y'all. See, the problem is that people live off of emotion. They don't live off of facts and statistics. They don't live off of reality and truth. Most men don't cheat because most men structure their life around their family. That's why when you hear things of infidelity, women always say, this changed. This happened. I know when this started. Most men don't cheat. What happens is, like Kevin said earlier, 20% of black men are fathering 80% of black women. That's the problem. It's a poor choice in men. So what happens is you dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray multiple times. And you deal with Pookie and Ray Ray from high school. You don't learn from you deal with him in college. You deal with him when you in your adult years. You keep dealing with the same type of men. Because deep down inside, you deal with men that are going to do what? Cater to your emotional chaos. You don't want the boring guy. You don't want the guy that ain't out there acting crazy. It's women that wouldn't think a man even loved them if he didn't blow their phone up and do all this crazy stuff, man. Right, Cole. Most men want a woman, that's my girl. If most men had to choose between a whole bunch of women or one woman that was 100% loyal to them, most men would pick that woman. Guarantee. You can ask the men. We can ask the men right now, if you had your choice to pick, you can pick a great woman that's 100% loyal to you right now, and y'all will grow old together. never get divorced, stay married forever, or you can have 30 years of getting as many women as you want. You can spend 30 years, get as many women as you want, or you can pick one great dynamic woman that's going to be loyal and faithful to you for the rest of your life. Man, most men going to pick that woman. That's why I say that's that feminist talk. He only staying because he want the money. He don't want to spend, he don't want to lose half. If he stay, he gonna cheat. Man, no. No. Most men invest too much into a woman they care about. They invest too much. Most men invest too much into their family. They invest too much. But she said that she follows her father. My ex I said, who is the man that you respect above all? She said her grandfather. He was deceased. I'm telling you, this ain't what what he's showing in these women on this show. I've seen firsthand for years. Black women love to say, I'm different. I'm different. They all, man. Does it matter if she's a virgin? Honestly, I think that no man, I don't care who the guy is, no man wants a woman that's been around. He don't. The closer to virgin as possible, that's what the man gonna want. So again, and this is what women have a bad habit of doing. I say that the majority of men do not cheat. The majority of women do not cheat. When I make this statement, women always say, there are men that cheat. Of course there are men, but again, this is a part of emotional chaos. And a part of it is that you live off of anomalies. Because anomalies feed the emotion. The truth doesn't. The truth numbs the emotion, nullifies it. So the anomalies, the things that rarely happen, the things that 10% do or 5% do, those things women cling to because it feeds the emotion. You don't want to hear the majority of men don't cheat. Because in your mind, you would think, wait a minute, that would mean the majority of men ain't bad. Oh, that goes against my narrative. That's all it is. Come on. Most men don't have the ability to cheat like that. Most men don't have the ability to even be that desired by multiple women. Have y'all just drove around and just looked at people? You looked at these guys. Most of these men, again, Pookie and Ray Ray and them got y'all minds warped because y'all like the guy that looks the part. He keep tricking y'all every time. Really, he ain't tricking y'all. Y'all just like that. Most people in society don't cheat. Which is why when someone cheats, it's still a scandal. which is why when someone cheats, it's still a big deal because most folks don't do it. But when y'all deal with Pookie and Ray Ray and them, cheating is normal. In fact, you almost expect it. In fact, you almost look forward to it because it adds excitement to the relationship. I know. The women I cheated on never left. I know this for a fact. None of them. None of them left. They may have left for a moment, but they came back. So I know about the drama that y'all like. I know firsthand. Let's continue. But she said she listens to her father, and then she said, I don't want to be misled by a man. So in other words, I want to be led how I want to be led. So in other words, I want the man to lead me how I want to. So in other words, I want to control the man. So in other words, I'm leading. If you control how the man leads you, then you're in charge. Oh no, I was a Pookie and I was a Ray Ray. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. So I was doing it. So I know what it entails. But most men wasn't doing what I was doing. I can look at a guy and tell he ain't, nah. He ain't. Pookie, Ray Ray, and Blanchard. That's what it was. But let's continue.
That's why you can mix and match, pull it, any piece of interview, and it's the same pathology. It's the same. You don't want to be led wrong. I mean, how do you know? First of all, due respect. You live in Brooklyn?
Yes, sir.
If I asked you how to get to Statue of Liberty, could you tell me?
Yes, I could.
Well, if I asked you to get to Bergdorf Goodman, can you tell me how to do that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then if I asked your neighbor how to get to Bergdorf Goodman, you think they give me that same direction you would give me?
Probably not. No.
If I asked a man how to get to Bergdorf Goodman, you think he'd tell me?
No, probably
The
not.
destination is the same, but the route is different. But you ladies think your route is paramount. Just because you want us to take your route, we don't think like you. We don't do like you. And the problem is, why this is a problem, is because you want us to keep understanding you, and you're supposed to be understanding us. You're supposed to be understanding us, the leader. We're not supposed to be understanding you, the troop. We're the king, you're the queen, right? But the queen is supposed to follow our fucking order, not. But you'll hear black women telling you, you're supposed to deify us. You're out of order. And this is when you hear talking about, I don't want to have the wrong directions, the nerve.
Well, I do watch a lot of your content, and I fear, being led to the path of I know that I'm in control of my partner, and I've done a good.
She said, I'm in fear of being led down the wrong path, and I'm assured that I'm ahead of my partner. Again, when a woman opens her mouth, honestly, when she opens her mouth, she should be saying something that is edifying. If women are nurturers, if women are the mothers, the nurturers, the life givers, how is it that when women are speaking, I'm listening to them, they don't sound like any of those things? You're talking about being led down the wrong path. led down the wrong path. What are you talking about? Why would you get with a man that would lead you astray? I'll tell you why. Because you want the guy that's gonna feed into that foolishness. There've been a bunch of guys that like this young lady. A bunch of guys liked her, but she didn't like him. Why not? She messing with a dude now. I can look in her eyes and tell. She messing with a guy now, and she likes him a lot more than he likes her. Why she keeps bringing up the leadership thing, because she feels like he ain't leading. Of course he ain't leading. He got his main chick to deal with. He got his main woman to deal with. He can't lead you. He's sleeping with you. He leading her, sleeping with you. I'm in control of my partner though. Crazy. It just came out her mouth. The spirit of feminism just came out. Let's continue.
I fear, being led to the path of like, I mean, I know that I'm in control of my partner, and I've done a good job of knowing when that person is not right for me and right for my life.
In control of your partner?
Well, I have a good idea of when someone is not marriage minded, and be of the percentage that you talk about a lot that make up that small percentage of men. So that's what I try to avoid, if that makes sense.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't. But no,
Nope.
I hear you.
No, it doesn't. No, but what I'm hearing is a nicer version of modern woman. That's, I mean, you're honestly, I'm gonna tell you what people will call you: a chameleon. You know some of the buzzwords.
No.
But I'm telling you, see, when I tell you what the fuck some people will call you, you don't say no. See, that's the problem. Yes, you are. Your nature is to be disagreeable. I said, you know what some people call you? A chameleon. And she's saying no. How the hell do you even know what I'm talking about? What is a chameleon?
An animal that switches colors when it touches a surface.
So you think that's what I'm calling you? A physical chameleon?
No.
A physical animal?
That camouflages in nature, that can navigate and change depending on the room that they're in and the conversation they're having.
Can't make this shit up. And this is why I said men are on the lookout for women like you. You come to these spaces, you say some of the right things, but at the end of the day, you still move like modern women. And when pressed, there it is. You'll see in the comment section.
Now, this young lady will trick. Most women will already agree with her because she's nice, she's smiling. They ain't listening to what she's saying. She's nice, she's smiling, she brown skin. So she's already won the hearts of most women just on appearance and smiling alone. So, but she has the same mindset as a worldly woman. And we ain't even got to say modern woman. We can just say worldly woman. This is a worldly woman. Even though she doesn't appear to be, like you would never look at her and say, she out there in them streets. No, you wouldn't think that, but she is. She just makes it look good. These women all share the same brain space. We talk about, the hive mind being plugged into the matrix of the network. A lot of black women already there. Beyonce ruined the black family when she said, all my single ladies. That demonic chant, all my single ladies, and I used to remember watching it. They would just stampede to the dance floor. I don't care if they'd be in a wheelchair rolling, one leg hobbling. handicapped, waddling, all to the dance floor. I don't care what race the woman was. All women, when that song came on, ran to that. All my thing, it was like a cattle call. All my single ladies, that song right there, that song destroyed the black family. She got a new one out too. What's it called? Cuff It or something? She done re-up with a new one. This new one gonna drive the nail in the coffin. It's over. All my single ladies, put your hands up. Who runs the world? That's another one. Who run the world? So look what she did now. She which one came first? Which one came first? So I can make my point. Let me see. Because I got a theory. My theory is it was all my single ladies, then it was who run the world. So once y'all was single, then you gonna run the world. Which one came first? Did single ladies come first? Because if single ladies came first, okay, then that makes sense then. All my single ladies, so guess what she did? She got all y'all single and then told y'all to come in and she gave each one of y'all a sword and a shield and sent y'all out to battle. Go conquer the world. Beyonce, Genghis Khan knows Beyonce rallied the troops, got y'all to be single first, and then when y'all was without a man, she gave y'all a sword and a shield and said, go conquer the world. She gave y'all a lace front and some tracks and said, go conquer the world. She gave y'all a lace front, some eyelashes, them nails, and that dreaded waist trainer, and she said, go conquer the world. And we ain't recovered since. And we ain't recovered since. All my single ladies. And really, Beyonce only got married to be ratchet. Because once she got married, she turned ratchet. She was riding like a surfboard, getting drunk. When Beyonce got married, she turned ratchet. It was all a ploy. Got y'all running, being single, run the world. She got that, I don't know what the new song called, Cuff It or something. It's a new song called Cuff It. And I guarantee it got some crazy lyrics. Let me see the lyrics. I feel like falling in love. I'm in the mood to F something up. What? This Beyonce? I'm in the mood. Hold on. Y'all didn't tell me she was in there cursing. I feel like falling in love. I'm in the mood to F something up. Tonight I'm effing something up, baby. I need some drink in my cup. Hey, pour me a drink. I'm in the mood to F something up. I'm in the mood to F something up. Man, this is apocalyptic Beyonce right here. This is 4 horsemen of the apocalypse Beyonce right here. She was Genghis Khan knows. Now she post-apocalyptic knows. Cause I ain't never, is she Beyonce Carter? Or is she still Beyonce knows? I don't know. Anyway, I want to go missing. I need a prescription. Hold on. Time out. Beyonce just said, I want to go missing. I need a She talking about Percocet. Beyonce, I want to go. Y'all. I want to go missing. I need a prescription. I want to go higher. Can I sit on top of you? Right, that's that demon I saw in that video. Sasha Fierce. I want to go missing. I need a prescription. Popping them pills and perks and Xanny. I want to go higher. Can I sit on top of you? Ooh la la. I want to go where nobody's been. Want to go where nobody's been. Have you ever had fun like this? Who wrote this song? They was high writing this song. Who wrote this? We gon' F up the night. Black lights. Spaceships fly. Yeah, unapologetic when we F up the night. F up the night. We getting F'd up tonight. We gon' F up the night. I thought the song was called Cuff It. She ain't cuffed nothing yet. This is crazy. Bet you'll see far. Bet you'll see stars. Bet you'll elevate. Bet you'll meet God. Because I feel like falling in love. I'm in the mood to F something up. Because we going to F up tonight. What's in these four walls? You sexy. My love, turn it up. Don't miss the roll call. Is you here or what? Roll it up. Yeah, show up, show up, show up, show up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. You Mr. Nasty. I'll clean it up. Beyonce. I ain't got to go no more. My goodness. Beyonce. My goodness. Let me finish with this girl. Let me finish. It's on the song. I'm reading the lyrics. I'll be hearing the song in the gym. I don't listen to the words, but I thought the song was called Cuff It. Ain't nothing in here about cuffing nothing. She talking about, it ain't no cuffing. Goodness. Anyway, so yeah. So all my single ladies, then we run the world. Now she's saying get high and have Oh, church girls is bad too? Let's continue with this. If I can go.
Yeah, they're gonna fire.
But it's not gonna be firing you up. It's what they see. It's what I see. It's you're not loud. You're not aggressive. You say I come in peace or this, that, da. But really, you're still a modern woman. You're just a nicer version of a modern woman. I call you variants and chameleons because you said you're in control of your partner and this and that. I'm listening to a 31-year-old woman who says you want to be married. Okay, I got a hard question for you. Okay, ready? Prepared?
Maybe.
Are you a wife?
I am. I know I am. I know I would be an excellent wife. I know I would
How
be,
long have you known you were a wife?
and within the last year, I will say, and that's pretty late.
And is your boyfriend a husband?
No, and I
And how long have you known that?
within the last few weeks.
This girl just said, he asked her if she was a wife, and she said yes. He said, how long have you known her? She said, for a year. How long have you known he wasn't a husband material or going to marry you? She said a few weeks. Let's continue.
Those things don't line up, man.
I know.
Women who are wives don't tolerate men who aren't husbands. It's just like chameleons do this conditional femininity thing, which we've seen on display right here. To be masculine does not mean to be loud. But there's conditional femininity. There's still a control mechanism. Even when I ask you questions about, Black women and being accountable and this and it, women who are truly understanding men don't waffle, don't run that gray area. Women who really understand men aren't hedging to not offend women because there is an order everywhere else. You ask a Latina and she will tell you the order is Father, God, man, child, woman. Even in the video I asked, where the woman asked about smiling, and I asked, do you belong to us?
Mm-hmm.
And the answer is no. Even with you, you're not following a man, you're following your father. So maybe you want to be a wife, but what I'm saying is we attract what we are. So maybe you're not the wife you think you are.
Maybe you're right.
I'm telling you what I've kind of gathered from you is you seem to be a nice person, but I would bet in a relationship you're more modern, because I'm just going to tell you, man, a lot of the reasons and excuses you said, institutional racism, and my grandmother was born in 1924. My grandfather was born in 1919. I was born in 69. I saw racism. In Oklahoma, we still had sundown towns.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't really experienced what you do. My point is, ultimately, if we're going to get this thing straight, it is going to be for women to stop asking to be graded on the curb.
Well, he has another example he gives of this grid about the bell curve, but again, he touched on some things in this live, and it's dealing with Black community and Black culture, and the culture among Black women, and everybody agrees that Black women are leading the Black community. So if Black women are leading the Black community, then what is the solution? In the present day today, Black women lead the community. So if that's true, what is the solution? Because think about it now. If Black women lead the community and Black men want to lead, are Black women willing to relinquish the lead position? Nobody's asked that question. Are black women willing to relinquish the lead position? Are they willing to say that, you know what, we're going to step down and let you all have it and let you all lead? I don't know. Based on what I see, no. Because what black women have done culturally is, now that they're in charge, their allies are the LGBTQ community and the white liberals. So even if black men say we want to lead, he now has to fight against black women, the LGBTQs, and the liberals. I guess there's a lot to go against. Probably won't happen. And some of you ladies, because I see Nikki in here, some of y'all don't have a problem, you know, because y'all know who you are. So again, this is cultural, and it's a cultural issue. And if Beyonce made a song about being submissive to a man, she would lose her followers. That won't work now. This train is moving too fast. A woman couldn't make a song about being submissive to a man unless it was some freaky sex stuff. But if we're talking about being submissive for the betterment of the family, no. Community, no. I saw a song with Moneybagg Yo and Glorilla, and it's just about a toxic. It's like literally two toxic people making a song about toxic relationship. It's crazy. I was like, what in the world is this? Just toxic. Yeah. So, but anyway, my point is that it's about accountability, and we got to be accountable. And it's not and it's not right. Baby Boy. You know, I watched the movie Baby Boy, and I remember asking myself, what is the point of this movie? And then I remember watching Boys in the Hood older as an adult, and I was like, what's the point of this movie? Then I watched Menace to Society, and I was like, what's the point of this movie? At least in the movie South Central, the man reunited with his son. But in them other movies, man, there was no point to the movie. Even when I watch Dead Presidents, what's the point of the movie? Right, Nikki. For that mindset to continue. And so we got to be honest. The children of Israel weren't lost. They were disobedient. Black people aren't lost. They're disobedient. Nobody's tricking. Black people aren't getting tricked. Black folks not getting deceived. Everybody black that I knew told me, I'm not getting a snake bite. And then when it came out, they got it. They ain't got that Boost Mobile with the 5G. Everybody black told me Joe Biden was trash, but they still voted for him. So my point I'm making is that black people aren't walking or roaming around America lost. That's just a lie. Because when you say that black folks are lost, you absolve them of responsibility. Black folks know where they're going. Black folks ain't deceived. There was a campaign that said no voting, no vucking. There was campaigns about getting this song, vax that thing up. Take your booty to the poll. So again, there's no type of deception going on with anybody. Not just black folks. Nobody's being deceived. The truth is out there. Everybody's operating out of choice, not deception. It's a choice. Right. The broad way to destruction. Thank you, Pamela. Nobody is being tricked or deceived. So if black people are suffering in America, it is by choice. Y'all ain't, I'm on live right now with a bunch of people and y'all ain't suffering. I'm laughing at Nikki. Real talk, Nikki. Right. But nobody's being deceived. We got to be accountable. I'm from the school of thought that everything is my fault. I take responsibility for everything. So if it doesn't go right, it's my responsibility to fix it. I don't put on anybody else, because the moment you say it's somebody else's fault, they're going to control you. You are actually being controlled. It's my fault. So if I don't make it in life, it's because of me. If I succeed in life, it's because of the Most High. You see how that works? It ain't about me at all. It's only about me when it don't go right. And like I said, the Hebrew Israelites, the Moors, and the black conscious, black empowerment, Black Lives Matter folks all share the same thing. The organizations are built, Nation of Islam too, are built on pride, ego, and narcissism. At the foundation of all of it, it's white people's fault. It's white people's fault. That's the foundation of it. And that's not godly. It's not honorable. Nothing. You can't say you believe in God and then say, but white people. All I heard growing up was bleed the blood of Jesus. Now all I hear is but white people. It's crazy. It's too much. It's foolish. You are responsible for you. When God crafted you, God said that you were wonderfully and fearfully made, that you were more than a conqueror. So that means God made you to be great. How can God make you to be great? You come down to earth and say, but white people. It's a slap in God's face. We spitting in God's face. The audacity to say, we believe in God, but white people. The title of today's, I don't know what you call a YouTube presentation, is Y'all versus Yah, the idolatry of skin. You are not special because you look a certain way. You are not special at all. Your mindset should be, how can I further the kingdom? How can I be a blessing to someone else? All these grandiose titles, all this chosen privilege talk, your mindset should always be, I'm at the lowest rank. I don't care if you got a whole kingdom behind you. Your mindset should still be that of a servant. You should still be able to get on your hands and knees and wash somebody's feet who's not deserving. You should be able to wash somebody's feet who's lower than you. The Bible says the greatest among you are going to be the ones that are the servants. Who's that one president that said, don't ask what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. And I understand that. We get in these relationships. Well, how you get in a relationship to get your needs met? Think about that. How are you getting into a relationship to get your needs met when you can meet your own needs? Most folks go to relationships with an already warped sense of what a relationship even is. How are you saying, I'm getting with this person so they can meet my needs? That's already selfish. You should be going to say, how can I make this person's life better? Since I chose this person, how can I make their life better? Because I chose them. They wasn't dropped off to me by the stork. I went and found them. So how can I make their life better? Folks' whole premise behind a relationship is getting their needs met. That's why most people ain't happy in relationships, because of that very reason. No, what can you do? What are you going to do for that person? That's right. True leadership is servanthood. And that's the problem, is that we don't have an idea of service. I listen to the Moors talking, ain't no service. Hebrew Israelites talking, ain't no service. The Black Power movement, ain't no service. Nation of Islam, ain't no service. Who is trying to serve the community? I'm not talking about doing community service. Who's going to serve the community? Who's going to be a Messiah for the community? Who gonna do real servant leadership? I ain't talking about doing no raggedy barbecue, raising money to get some kids some backpacks. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about who gonna lead like Christ in these places. Take us to the new earth. I'm crying. But again, it's for men and women. We got to approach relationships from a servant mindset. So how can I make this person's life better? How can I love this person the right way? How can I elevate this person? How can I be a Messiah to this person? That's what we should be doing. Now, if you think about it that way, you're not going to waste time out here. You see, when you got to approach it as a servant, you're not going to waste time on Pookie and Ray Ray, Nalisha and Keisha. You're not going to waste time on them when you got to be the one of service to them, when that's your mindset, because you're going to pick somebody worthy of you serving. Y'all doing it the wrong way. Just giving yourself to somebody who don't deserve it through foolishness. I'm talking about you value the person that you're serving. You serve them because you see the value in them. That's why you're humbling yourself to the person. This is why women are supposed to respect the men and honor the men, and the men love the women like Christ loved the church. Because men and women are different. And so men can only really love one way, and that's really to the death. And a woman can really only respect and honor one way. And that's with her devotion to her husband. All that but white people. It's foolish. Listen, I love y'all. I thank y'all for tuning in. We went long. Yeah. Prince had that song, I Will Die For You. Go read the lyrics. I'm not your lover. I'm not your man. I'm something that you'll never comprehend. Come on, what do you think he's talking about? No need to worry. No need to cry. I'm your Messiah. You're the reason why. I would die for you. What do you think he's talking about? Come on. Anyway, I love y'all. Good night, Nikki, Pam, Cam. That's funny. Pam, Cam, Nikki. All you all on IG. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. It actually is a gospel song. Truth be told, I Will Die For You is a gospel song. He says in the bridge, he says, you're just a sinner, I've been told. Make you fire when you're cold, make you happy when you're sad, make you good when you are bad. You are human, I am a dove. You are conscious, I am love. All I really need is to make sure that you believe. Yeah. So, yeah, gospel song. But he's talking about loving someone like a Messiah. Basically, I'm giving my life to you. And that's how we should be. Listen, I love y'all. Good night. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I know we up late tonight. Probably see y'all again on Sunday. But I just thank y'all for tuning in. Remember, we got to walk in love. We got to be love. We're blessed to be a blessing. We're not just blessed and highly favored, but we also blessed to be a blessing. But I love y'all and thank y'all so much. All right. All right, y'all.